will never tolerate evil.
My friends told me they feel booms, they feel it in the ground.
And on Ukrainians fleeing the fighting.
The outpourings of support is unprecedented.
11,000 employees laid off.
It's time for American troops to come home.
Millions around the world hungry and malnourished.
The world bracing for food shortages.
Hurricane Ian has changed Florida forever.
The deadly conflict between Israeli forces and Palestinians continues.
It is time to officially recognize Jerusalem as the capital of Israel.
I think when we're rooted in Christ, we can survive anything.
America is truly ready for revival.
Tens of thousands have accepted Jesus Christ, and thousands have been healed.
We hear, and probably hear every 4 years, that this election is the most important than any other previous election. But 2024, only God knows how this is going to play out. I've never, in the many years of life with a great interest in Washington, D.C. and politics, have ever seen the division that we are seeing today. I can't even begin to think what President Trump is dealing with on a daily basis. And those that have appreciated the fact that President Trump moved the U.S. Embassy from Tel Aviv to Jerusalem, the fact that he supported and also called for the United States to leave the Iran nuclear deal, and also stating that Israel has the right to Judea, Samaria, legally, according to the San Remo Agreement, and also sovereignty rights over the important Golan Heights, which is very important for Israel. And then the 200 conservative judges, and standing strong for life. He has his own style, but he was a very effective president. And he was very open to the evangelical community. He had 30 or 35 advisors within the evangelical community that would come to Washington when there was need for prayer. So he was very open to that. But I tell you, President Trump, from the 20 years I was in the White House, was very pro-evangelical Christian. And I think today we're seeing rapidly the increase in popularity. The latest poll said 45% of the Hispanic are going to vote for Trump. 23% of Black Americans are favoring President Trump. His support is continuing despite all the legal challenges, and many of them questionable, probably most questionable. But nonetheless, we need a strong leader. And one other note, when President Trump was in office, al-Baghdadi and ISIS was defeated. The #1 terrorist supporter of Iran, Soleimani, was eliminated, and there was no war in the Middle East. I had a friend that's a Maronite Catholic from Lebanon that was the White House correspondent for Al Arabiya. And he told me 6 months into the election, after the election and the inauguration, I never thought I never thought this would happen. The Arab leaders love Trump because he was strong. In May of 2017, he met with the Islamic leaders in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia, and told them, if you support terror, you're an enemy of the United States. If you don't support it, you will be a friend and an ally of the United States. And that's the kind of leadership we had in the Middle East, and a lot has changed since then. So with all that said, obviously the 2024 election is very important. Unfortunately, President Biden, his cognitive abilities are diminishing, and there's a lot of concern right now that we need a strong leader right now, and we need a leader that's going to stand up to the threats that we have: Iran, Russia, China, North Korea. And I think this election will have enormous implications going forward. And most important, we continue to pray for God's will and God's plan for this hour as we continue to move through these very significant, or I should say prophetically significant days.